struggle. I struggle with business and what I have to do, but that's entirely up to them, and I don't see a difficulty with that as long as they're happy with what it is that they're doing. I feel better when it's on. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. So I had a request to do a skincare and makeup video. I am in no way a beauty content creator, but I thought I would do a get ready with me while I answer the questions on the Q&A that you guys all left for me on Instagram. There's quite a few to get through, so I thought that was a way to show what I use as skincare and makeup and do the Q&A at the same time. Now, as I say, in no way am I a beauty content creator, so this is just what I use and we'll go from there. So I've already taken my makeup off and washed my face. I use Dermalogica for all of my skincare. I use Dermalogica Special Cleansing Gel to wash my face, and I'm now going to give it a spritz of this, which is the Dermalogica Antioxidant Hydro Mist. This is to keep your skin hydrated. It is described as being a refreshing antioxidant mist that will improve skin texture with intensely hydrating skin, dehydrated skin, and supplementing skin's protective barrier. Now, none of this is sponsored, obviously. This is just what I use every day. So I just spritz that all over my skin before I put my moisturiser on to help keep it moisturised. Obviously, I am in my 40s now, so my skin needs all the help it can get. But if this was nighttime and I had just taken my makeup off, I would then use this, which is a Dermalogica Active Clearing Serum. So after I have put my spritz on at nighttime, I will put on this, but obviously it's during the day. So I'm going to put my moisturiser on. And yes, I know those shelves are very, very empty. I have obviously taken all of the bags up and put them in the new handbag room, and you may have seen that video already. And I need to get all of the shoes organised in there, but I just haven't got around to doing it yet. And now I'm going to use the Dermalogica Active Moist, which is the moisturiser I use on a daily basis. I use this day and night, and then I'll get into answering your Q&A questions. Okay, so now that that moisturiser is in over my skin, let's get started with the first question. What bag makes you the most giddy and most excited? Okay, I have a few because I get ridiculously excited about handbags. If you've watched any of my unboxings, you will know that. Definitely one of them would be the purple sequined baguette. I absolutely love it. I think it's just a vibe. When I use it, I feel very happy and giddy and excited. I also love the Vuitton Petite Malle. Those are two of the bags that I really look to use. Whenever I take them out, I feel really just excited about them, and I think that at this price is probably how we should feel. So those are definitely two of the bags that make me feel like that most, and I will, as we go along, put in photographs so I can show you what it is I'm talking about. Next, to get ready, I will use the Skin Perfect primer from Dermalogica. This has an SPF 30 in it, so it protects your skin, but it's also a primer underneath your makeup. And all of the products I'm going to use, if anybody's interested in them, I will link them down below in the description box. That is my primer on, and it has a little bit of a tint in it, so it helps underneath your makeup before I put that on. Next question. How do you deal with negative comments? It's the one thing holding me back from starting. I think I would be doing you a disservice if I said you wouldn't get them, because I think we all generally get them. I haven't had too many that have been that bad, but I have had them. Generally, I kind of laugh at them. I think what helps is that I am older. I'm in my 40s. I've had a lot of life to live. I've been through a lot of things that are much more difficult and distressing than negative comments on YouTube. So they really don't have that much of an impact on me. I've had comments about my appearance. I've had comments about my speech, about my accent. I've had comments about videos. I think we all do get them, but you have to kind of be able to look at them for what they are. There's somebody that's sitting behind a keyboard that's leaving comments on somebody on the internet, and there was a couple for a while that kept coming back to watch my videos and then make comments on them. Why? They're wasting their time to come and watch your videos and then commenting on it. I think I don't really let it affect me because I take it for what it is. And if you are going to start YouTube, I think you do need to get some kind of a thicker skin and not let those impact you and take them for what they are. There's somebody whose face that can't be seen that's typing on a screen on a YouTube video. That would they say that to your face? I don't know if they would. So I tried and really not give it any more place or credit or standing than what it should have. If you look at the mechanism of how they do that behind the scenes, you would need to be able to have a bit of a thick skin to just deflect them. I know Dale got one not that long ago on her Instagram that did upset her, and she did it in her Vlogmas. She talked about it, and it's something that all of us do have to deal with. Foundation next. So I use the Clinique Even Better foundation, and this has an SPF in it as well for SPF 15. It evens and corrects. It's quite a light foundation. I don't like the feel of very heavy, clunky foundation on my skin, even though sometimes I maybe need it to fix some of the problems with my skin. I don't have great skin. I never have had. I've had laser on my skin before. I've also had dermaneedling, I think it's called, which was very good for the pitting on my skin from when I had acne when I was younger. And I think it's great at resurfacing your skin. Yoda Style has a video talking more about it, but I use the Clinique Even Better, which is quite light but gives me enough coverage that I'm happy with, and I don't feel like my skin is caked in makeup. As I say, I'm not a beauty or makeup content creator, so I just put my foundation on with my fingers. I'm sure there's lots of channels would tell you the right way to do it, and that's probably not the right way, but it's how I've always done it. You can see the coverage isn't too caked, or it isn't a full heavy coverage if that's what you're looking for, but I'm happy enough with it, and I feel like my skin can still breathe. Back to the questions, and I'm just taking these as they come from my Instagram. Best place to visit in Ireland? Oh my goodness, there's so many. It really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to see the country, the North Coast is amazing, up around the Giant Causeway, the Musselton Temple, towards Portrush and Portstewart. There's some amazingly beautiful scenery up there. It really is stunning. Galway is a fantastic place to visit. I obviously am in Dublin quite a lot. I love Dublin. I think it's a great city to visit. There's so much in Ireland. It really depends what you're looking for. If the weather would just get a little bit better, it would be even better. I then use the Clinique Even Better concealer. I don't use a huge amount of concealer, to be honest. I always generally think it makes my skin look a little bit cakey sometimes. Maybe I'm just not very good at putting it on. This one I like because it has this little brush to kind of blend it in, so it's not quite as obvious. I have been not that well over the Christmas period. My whole house wasn't that well, so I've been quite run down looking after everybody. My husband had COVID, so he wasn't much help, and it always shows in my skin if I get run down. So you'll see, you can get like little bits of breaks out, and underneath my eyes you can see I've been tired. So this just gives that a little bit of a help before I put the rest of my makeup on, and this is the one I've been using for quite some time. Good at multitasking, doing this and the questions. Okay, what if you could only keep 5 handbags, which ones would you keep? Oh my goodness, this changes quite a lot every time I do this video. It's a different set of 5. The one that's always there is the Neverfull, so I would definitely keep the Neverfull. I would definitely keep the Petite Mal. I absolutely love that bag. I would keep the monogram version because it's the one I get the most use out of. I would keep the sequined Fendi baguette, the purple baguette. I just think it's so fabulous. It's just a moment all by itself. I love that bag. I would definitely keep that. I would keep a Chanel Mini. Which one is the more interesting question? I'd be tempted. I love the raspberry chevron one. That's probably my favourite colour, but it's lambskin. The berry version of it is caviar, which is a lot easier to wear and more hard wearing. I also love the black graffiti mini reissue version. So I would probably keep, if I'm only having 5, I would probably keep the berry chevron lambskin version because I love it the most. I just love the colour of that bag so much. I don't think I could get rid of it. So I would probably keep that. That's 4. And 5, I would probably keep the Birkin because I love it that much. And to be quite honest with you, I wouldn't want to spend the money for it again. I think spending the money on that once is enough. So I'd probably keep the Birkin as well because I love the colour of it. And it's a different type of bag. I've got a crossbody with the Chanel. I've got the sequin baguette. I've got the Petite Mal. I've got a good range there to cover different things. I would probably keep because I could wear the Petite Mal as a crossbody as a neutral if I needed to. The berry, I kind of wear colours with everything, so I think I would keep the Birkin as well because that's a handheld bag. I can throw things in, and I love the colour of it, and I love that bag. It was such a moment for me to get it, so I would keep that one as my 5th. Would you consider a Celine bag? Just bought myself a belt bag. Yes, I would. Now, I did a video that probably got me a few annoyed people, sorry, talking about the bags that I wouldn't recommend or the bags I would avoid for 2023, and there was the Celine luggage bag in that. But I've also got a video of the bags I think are going to be very hot for 2023, and I don't know if that video will be out whenever this one comes out, but the Celine Triomphe bag I think is absolutely stunning. I love the clasp on that. I think it's very understated and elegant. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful bag. I would consider that. And I also saw on the Celine, it was on Instagram, I think, there was a padded version almost of the Triomphe bag, which made it look a little bit less structured and a little bit more fun. And I thought that was a stunning option as well. So yes, I think Celine is going to become more in the spotlight. I think their bags are just so classic looking and I think they're very beautiful, so I definitely would consider those. And congratulations on your belt bag. I think Celine's having a real resurgence. And then Accounting for Luxury asks me, what is your biggest luxury regret that you did not buy? Probably a Chanel Classic flap in the teal colour. I have it in the mini, it's the 18B teal colour. I have the chevron version, but I saw in store the classic flap version whenever it was around about €4,000, which is around about £3,600 or so. I have obviously both currencies, but that is such a brilliant price for that bag now when you look at what they are. Oh my goodness, it makes me cry. And the thought that I could have had it at that price, but I didn't have the money at the time. We were doing a renovation and the money's all had to go into that, so I couldn't have bought it, but I do regret not buying that bag. I also regret not buying, but again, I didn't have the money at the time, but if I had have had, when I was looking for my Birkin, as we all know, I'm a bit obsessed with a mini Kelly, and I really, really want a mini Kelly. It's on my wish list, but I'm not paying the reseller prices for it. Connor from the closet was helping me, and he came across one which he sent me, which was for £12,000 sterling. That is a huge amount of money, obviously, and it's way above retail, but for what they sell on the resale market, it was in the Rose Papri, the colour I absolutely love. For the resale market, that's actually a really good price. You wouldn't get one for that price now, and this is only maybe about a year and a half ago. I think they're now sitting around the £20,000 sterling mark on resale. So I kind of regret, although I couldn't buy it because I didn't have that money to buy it, but if I had have had the money, that would have been such a great bag to buy, even though that price is very, very high compared to what they are now at over 20,000. That doesn't seem just as nonsensically high when you look at today's resale price. Have you read Sharon Dempsey books yet? She is a local Belfast woman. I haven't, and if you've been following me either on Instagram or on the community page here on Instagram or on YouTube, and shameless plug, subscribe if you haven't because you'll see the community posts, and follow me on YouTube if you haven't because you'll see everything that goes on in the stories. But I've talked a lot on my recent videos. I think this came out of one of my Christmas videos about reading a lot, and I do read a lot. I probably read on average a book a week, and there was a lot of people had commented about starting a book club so as we could all share recommendations and talk about the books that we're using. So we've started a book club kind of on Instagram, and there is a highlight on my page where the stories that I post the books to are saved into, and I'm guessing that's where this has come from. But I haven't came across any of Sharon Dempsey's books, but I'm always willing to read new authors because, as I say, I read a lot, and I think that anybody that is local, I would absolutely give their work a chance because it's just great to try out and support people that are local to Ireland and see what it is that they're having to offer at that time. And then I'm also asked, would love my YouTube channel to be a hit. Any advice? Well, I don't know if I'm qualified to give that advice because I don't think my YouTube channel's a hit. Now, I'm very grateful for the subscriber count that I have and everybody that watches it, but obviously there's huge YouTube channels. I do have a video coming out on my Amelia Rose Talks channel, so again, shameless plug, if you don't follow me over there, please go and subscribe. And I have a video coming out over there, or it may already be out, on what I would do now if I was starting a YouTube channel, and it's really just from being a small YouTuber, what I have learnt along the way and things I would do differently. A lot of those videos that you see are from huge YouTubers, and to be quite honest, are things that aren't realistic for me. Like, I'm not going to have the time and the money and the effort to put into what some of them are doing, and this is just what I have learnt really as everyday type tips, and that video will probably be helpful for anybody thinking to start a YouTube channel at this stage, and the tips that I think that you have to make it a hit. I really don't know, because it's like, look at the size of some of the YouTubers that there are. For me, what I have always decided to do is just be myself on my channel, and if people like that, they like it. If they don't, they don't, and allow my personality to come out. Now, obviously at the start it took a while when I wasn't in the videos and it was talking hands, and I didn't really enjoy making content that way as much as I do now. But I think let your personality shine and talk about something that you're genuinely very interested in and you genuinely have knowledge on, because then I think people are more inclined to connect and to feel from you that you're interested and excited about what you're talking from. I think if you try to talk about things just to make videos in it, I think it'll come across very stale and it'll be hard to get people to connect with you, because I think we can all tell if someone's talking about something and their heart's not in it. But if you do your channel, good luck with that, because anybody that's doing it, I always say good luck. I really enjoy it. It's a hard thing to do. It's a big thing to put yourself on the internet. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time and effort. So absolutely good luck if you do your channel. Let's do a bit more of this before I go back to questions. I'm not very good at this, doing two things at once. Okay, contouring. I use the Clinique. You can see this is all that's left of mine. Very, very little, and it is the Clinique Chubby Stick. I do have two sitting over here, which are new ones because my highlighter is very low as well. So I replaced them with the exact same thing because I really like these, and it is the Clinique Chubby Stick for contour, and then I have the highlight one as well. So the contouring one, I just draw basically lines on my face with. Don't I look attractive? So I have added on my contouring lines, and then I have my highlighting on. I am no expert at this, I say that very genuinely, and I just got a new brush which has been really good for doing this, and it is a Charlotte Tilbury bronzer and blusher brush, but I've been using it for my contouring and I think it's really good, better than the old one that I still have that's completely and utterly done. But oh, I just knocked everything over. But that's what I look like before I blend it in. Now that's blended, I have some highlight and some contour. You can see where maybe if I turn that light a bit, you can see it better. Light down a bit so you can see better. You can see the highlighting and the contouring. And that just gives a little bit of shape to my face. I also use, while I'm getting ready, the little Chanel mirror. This is the double-sided one that I think I've talked about quite a few times. And it's just very handy. It has the mirror at the top and then the magnifying mirror, and I think it's very helpful when I'm getting ready. I'm going to turn that back up again so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, questions. Your least favourite brand? I've never really been a fan of Balenciaga, which is probably good for me at the moment because I wouldn't be buying from them. But I never really liked their style of bags, apart from there is one city bag with the graffiti on it, which I thought was quite funky. But it's generally not a bag that I have loved or a brand that I have loved. I also don't really like the large looking Senreve bags. The Senreve bag that can be used as a backpack. It's very big and it has like an envelope style. I've never really found those to be attractive either, if I'm honest. Do you still use your LV agenda? Every day. Every day. I have a video that went up recently on my setup for my agenda for 2023. I use it basically every day. I don't really use it for work stuff all that much because there's that much to that I use online for that. But I use it to keep everything else in order. It's generally always with me. I like having it in my hand so I can do what I need to do at that time. I think they're fabulous, fabulous pieces. If you use stationery, and I've said this so many times, if you use stationery, if you don't write things down, I don't think that having a Louis Vuitton agenda is suddenly going to make you start writing them down. I think if you're someone that already uses planners or pen and paper, then it is a worthwhile purchase. But if you're someone that never uses that and everything's digital, I think it'll end up being a waste of money. So I've just put some loose setting powder over my skin, and I use the Clinique Transparency number 8. It's neutral, so there's not really any colour from this. It's just really to set the makeup that's underneath it, and I'm using a Dior brush to do that. A bag you love but wouldn't purchase. If you watched my recent Dublin vlog, this one is easy because there was a Chanel classic flap in bright yellow that I absolutely loved. I thought it was stunning, but it was just about €9,000 nearly, I think, and I just couldn't justify it, but I absolutely loved it. And with the navy coat I was wearing at the time, absolutely loved it, but I just couldn't buy it for that price. What was your first ever designer piece? Of the collection that I have now, it was my Louis Vuitton Neverfull, which I still love and adore. I've replaced that one since. The first one I had I used for 10 years, and it is in the GM size in the monogram canvas. And I then replaced it with the exact same thing, only with the pink interior on the new one. I still have the old one. It holds files in my office, but I think they're fabulous bags. If we're looking to the first ever piece, I once had a Chloe crossbody bag, the Marcy crossbody bag, but I bought it before I could actually afford it. I bought it on a credit card, and then I realised how daft that was, and I sold it and cleared the credit card. So I don't think that one really counts because it didn't stay for very long, but of the pieces that I have and love and use, it was the Neverfull. I've just put some highlighter under my eyebrows. I actually use the highlighter from my Charlotte Tilbury set under here rather than a white eyeshadow. see how to show you that best. As you can see, I'm not set up to be a beauty or makeup content creator, but that's underneath there, and it is from the Film Star Bronze and Glow. I love this by Charlotte Tilbury. I'll use this as my bronzer as well at the end, but I have that underneath. And then the eyeshadows that I use are also Charlotte Tilbury. I'm using this one at the minute because it isn't finished, and it's a larger Charlotte Tilbury set. I think this is sold out, so you can see all the colours in it. I can't link that for you, but I've just replaced it because my favourite colours are nearly done, and I replaced it by, I asked my brother to get me this for Christmas, and it is the Luxury Palette of Pops Pillow Talk. I'll link it down below because I don't think you'll be able to see that, but it is these same sort of colours, and that's what I use on my eyes. If I am going out, I then, on top of the goldy type colour, put a purpley type colour, but I'll show you that as we go. I'm laughing because Meredith asks me, how much sleep do you get per night with 2 children, a business, 2 channels and 4 dogs? How do you do it all? And I'm laughing because Meredith does it all as well. Meredith obviously also has a business, and she has children, and she's a YouTube channel. And she's very, very busy, so it's very kind of her to say that because she's doing everything herself too. How much sleep do I get per night? Basically about 8 hours. I am one of these people that believes in sleep. I am not somebody that will be making a video saying to be successful you should get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and start your day and all of that and get stuff done before everybody's awake. If you can do that and function, yes, you're giving yourself extra hours in the day. Personally, I can't. If I do that, I am useless. I am a zombie, and nothing that I do is in any way productive. I need sleep. I will generally try to get 8 hours sleep every single night, or as close to it as I can. Now, as Meredith said, I do have 2 young children, so sometimes that's impossible. I do have a business, sometimes it's impossible, but I generally try to make that my default position. When I am tired, I make mistakes. I am grumpy. I am not productive. I am not anywhere near as good at my job as when I am alert. I think that sleep refreshes you. I think you're sharper whenever you have sleep. I think your brain functions sharper. I certainly pick things up an awful lot quicker when I'm not tired. It will not take me 25 times of reading the same thing just to understand it because my brain's foggy. For me, I think sleep is one of those things that should be protected at all costs. I just know what I'm like when I don't get enough of it. I struggle with business and what I have to do, and the type of work that I do, it's difficult. It can be very difficult, and I struggle if I haven't had enough sleep. I also find when I don't get enough sleep, my migraines are awful. I'll be plagued with them, and it's because my brain is not getting what it needs, and I'm tired, and everything goes into a downward spiral. How do I do it all? I'm quite efficient whenever I need to be working. I time block. I know you watch videos that will say time block and don't make to-do lists. I'll have lists as well because it keeps me on track of what I have to get through in a day, but I will time block out what I'm doing at certain times in the day. And when I work, I work. I'm very efficient when I work. I get through work very quickly. When I put my mind to work, I'm not looking on Instagram, and I'm not looking on Twitter, and I'm not doing any of those things that can distract myself. When I'm in the zone, I will be working, and I can get an awful lot of work done in a day. My secretary will sometimes say to me, can you please take the batteries out so as we can keep up? And that's probably how I work. Here's an interesting question. Why are so many influencers using Ideal? It's beyond frustrating. Well, this is not sponsored obviously, but here is my Ideal necklace still on me, and when I am ready, my earrings will go in my ears. Why are so many influencers using it? Because it's a really good product, if you want my honest answer to that. If you think about influencers, I don't call myself an influencer. I think I create content, but I'm not going to go and call myself an influencer. But if I take myself as an example, and I'm sure a lot of us are the same, we get a huge amount of emails on a weekly and monthly basis offering collaborations and products to try and sponsored videos. I myself accept the ones that I am interested in, and I think that I like their product, or I want to try their product. I have a moral line and a moral code as to what I accept, and I'm very happy with the ones I accept and the ones that I don't. If somebody doesn't want to watch the ones that I accept, that's entirely up to them. Fast forward it or don't watch the video. The reason I think so many people are using Ideal is because I think they're a very genuinely very good product. So whenever you get hit in your inbox with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 emails in a week. And when you're a bigger channel, I would imagine that multiplies and multiplies with brands offering you sponsorships and collaborations. I personally turn the vast majority of them down. I know from what channels I watch that there's a lot of them turn the vast majority of them down. There are some channels I watch that I know have accepted a few more than what others have, but that's entirely up to them. And I don't see a difficulty with that as long as they're happy with what it is that they're doing and promoting. But when a brand like Ideal then comes and offers sponsorships and they're a good product, and I know somebody had left a comment that you can't see the diamonds. I don't think that's right. When I put my diamonds in my ear, I can definitely see them. I think that because they're a really lovely, good product, that's why you get so many people saying yes to them. And I also think that's why you will see a lot of people talk about Lily Silk, because I actually really like their clothes. Anna Luisa, I'm wearing that as well. That's what the top one is. I think that's why that's what that is too, actually. I think that's why you'll see a lot of that. I think that's why you'll see a lot of Farfetch. And the ones that you see that are repeated a lot, because whenever they reach out to people that are making content, they're good products. So you're going to get more of content creators saying yes to the same thing because they're good products. And that's why I think you're seeing Ideal a lot, because whenever they're reaching out to content creators, people are saying, oh yes, I like that, and I'm going to accept that and try that. And that's why you're seeing a higher percentage of Ideal videos than maybe some others. And you find it frustrating. I'm very sorry for that. I genuinely like the product. I think if you find them frustrating, squish past it and don't watch that part. But making content is a lot of work, and I know that certainly when I'm offered a sponsorship and it's a brand that I like or I'm interested in, I'm going to accept it and I'm going to try the product and I'm going to see what I think. When it's a brand that I don't like and I have no interest in using, I'm not going to accept it. And I think as long as I'm happy with what I'm talking to you about and what I'm accepting, then I can live with that. I have turned down multiple handbag offers, jewellery offers, hair extension offers, content lens offers, skin offers, hair removal offers. You name it, I probably turned something in that region down. But Ideal is one I genuinely love. So now if I was going on a daytime look, I would only have this goldy colour in my eye. If I was going out somewhere, I would use the purpley colour, which is here, to add in something along the baseline just to give it a bit more look and a bit more definition. Put only a little bit of this in because after we do this, believe it or not, I'm taking my son swimming. So what a silly day to do a get ready with me video, but it's the only time I had to film it. That just adds a little bit of colour in there, and then I'm going to go with my eyeliner, which I'm going to warn you all already, I use quite a lot of. I like a black eyeliner. It's not for everybody, but I like it. Do you think you ever have a limit number of bags? I am a bag addict myself. I don't think I have an actual number, but I do think there's times that I will look around and I will get a bit uncomfortable. And there's times that I will think, ooh, a lot of bags here. Now I know there's a lot of bags there all the time because I'm not that naive and blind. I know that there was a lot of bags there, but I am using the Tweezer Man eyeliner sharpener in case anyone is interested in that. There are a lot of bags there, but I don't have a set number, but I do think there's times that I get to the point where I think I'm a little bit uncomfortable with that, and I think I maybe need to downsize, or I need to look at what ones I'm not using and not loving, and when I'm not using and not loving them, let them go, because I can be a bit of a hoarder and I can have collector tendencies, and they're very expensive, and I know when it gets to where it's at now, say, there's a lot there, and I'm starting to look around it and think, ooh, eyeliner, it's been used so much the writing has come off it, but it is the Bourjois Paris one. It's very inexpensive. I do use eyeliner under my eyelid and on the top, and this is the one I generally use. Okay, more questions. Pick 3 YouTubers to steal, borrow and burn a collection from their bag from their collection. Wow, okay, I don't think anybody's going to let me burn them, but if I was stealing one, I would probably steal Meredith's bright pink Petite Mal. I love the Petite Mal, and the bright pink one, I think it's pretty fab. I would probably steal that. Borrow, actually no, change that, that's the one I would borrow. I would steal Cassie Thorpe's bright orange mini Kelly, because she's not getting that back. So I'll borrow Meredith's Petite Mal. I will steal Cassie's mini Kelly because I love the colour of it. It's such a good fun pop of colour. And what would I burn? I don't know if I would burn anybody in any bag I would burn. Trying to think if there's a bag I feel strongly enough about that I really dislike that I would burn. Don't think there is, actually. What do you think of the Dots collection that Louis Vuitton is doing? Anything you like? Not really. I really did like the original collection of this, the original collab Louis Vuitton did many, many years ago when I didn't have the money to buy it. I actually did really like it, but the current one, I don't really love it. I prefer the leather pieces to the canvas, if I'm honest, and if I had to choose. I quite like the little red Speedy with the white dots, or I quite like the yellow with the black dots. I don't like them enough to buy them, I don't think, and I don't love it. I think it could have... I love the original collection. This one just not so much. The mascara I use is the Max Factor 2000 calorie. This is very inexpensive, but I think it gives a really good lift and a really good coverage. Now, if I was going out and not going swimming, I would put another few coats of this on and it would be even more dramatic. I personally don't use false eyelashes. I don't know how to put them on. I don't know how to stick them properly. Something else I've had a lot of offers for sponsorships for, but I don't use them. And if I was, as I say, going out, I would just put another couple of layers on there. And you can see there, it gives quite good lift and coverage. Now, as I say, I'm no expert at this and my eyelashes are quite long. So when I do that, I can sometimes get mascara on my eyelid. So I just go back over it and put a little bit of my eyeshadow over the top of it. I will take the camera upstairs when we finish. I think the light's better up there, that you can actually see what it is you're looking at. There's my mascara. What are you most grateful for in 2022? That's easy. My friends and my family. If you have followed me for a while, you'll probably know that my dad passed away very suddenly in 2018. My mum then had a major stroke at the end of 2019. And if there's ever anything to put things into perspective about how fragile life can be, that is certainly it. And friends, family, being surrounded by people are what I am most grateful for. The other Hermes bags, non-quota. To be honest with you, I'm one of those typical people that annoy a lot of true Hermes lovers. I don't really like that many of the other non-quota Hermes bags. I love the Birkin in the 25 in fun colours. I think the fun colours make it less of an older looking bag and less, I suppose, serious. I do think that a black version or a neutral version would be very good to be wearing all the time or with work type outfits, but for me, thinking that I was probably going to have one of them, I went for a very fun colour and my favourite colour. I love the mini Kelly. I think it's so cool. I would love one of those. The Kelly, I probably am not too on the hunt for. I think with the cost of Birkins and Kellys, for me, there was definitely choices to be made. And it wasn't that I was going to be able to have a collection of lots of Birkins and lots of Kellys. So I chose the Birkin. The Kelly in a fun colour, or in a colour that I would wear, I do really, really like. But I had to make a choice about which I would buy. And that's where the Birkin came from, and I have a wish list for the mini Kelly, but I've had it for a long time and I'm not a huge Hermes purchaser, so I am not holding my breath for that, but in a bright colour I would love. I have just put on my bronzer, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, which I really like. I think it gives real definition to my face, and it has on it the bronzer on one side, as you can see it's well used, and also the highlighter. So then and the little brush comes with it. Highlight down the normal spots to give me some definition. You can see then that brings it in at the side, and that's what I use. What else have we got on the questions? On your wish list for next year, not that much. If you do watch my other channel, I have some other financial priorities this year that I want to do. I have some other financial goals, and that's going to take some of my funds. So there's not a huge amount. I do love the mini saddle. I've really been obsessing about it, and there's a couple of other things on it, but there's not that much. Apart from the mini Kelly, I would definitely not turn that down if it became available. Which one luxury bag do you recommend to appeal to most people to own or use? I love the Neverfull, and I will always love the Neverfull. And when people say it's done or it's over or it's dated, oh, just stop using those words. It's brilliant. It's the reason you see a lot of the Neverfull is because it's brilliant at what it does. If you need a workhorse, a big bag that everything fits in to carry, I just think it's an amazing bag, and it's one of my absolute favourites. I also think if you could have a smaller crossbody bag, I love the Chanel Mini, but they're very expensive and they're hard to get. I also have the Louis Vuitton Papillon, which is a great crossbody bag. If you have some form of crossbody bag that is smaller for everyday use, I also think that's a good staple in a collection. If you could only have one handbag, what would it be? Not one per brand, not one per style. Is that your way of saying to me, don't cheat on my question? And I mean one. If I could only have one, it would be the Neverfull, because I use it every day. I use it for work every day. It fits my laptop, my agenda, everything that I carry to work, which is basically the kitchen sink. And it does that job so well. So if I could only have one, it would be the Neverfull. What is your opinion on the Balenciaga scandal? I spoke about this in the video I did about bags to avoid in 2023. I think it's horrendous. I think anything that, and I'm not going to put any images in this, as I said in that video, I'm not going to reproduce the opportunity for the abuse to be perpetuated. I think it's horrendous that children were used in a scandal that, or in a campaign that can have anything like that attached to it, any type of scandal, any type of sexualisation of children. If anybody has ever worked in any of those areas, you will know how horrendous it is to deal with and how far-reaching the impact is. And I think there's a lot of cleaning up to do in there. How that ever got approved, I think it's horrendously bad. Top 5 things on your 2023 wish list. Okay, I take it this means luxury and material things above health and people being well and all of that. So if anybody is going to judge me for saying luxury things, I think that's what this question means. Mini Kelly's always going to be there, although I don't hold out much hope, as I've said. I'm really intrigued by the mini saddlebag. I really, really like it. There are a pair of Gucci jeans I really want to try. I don't have that much on my wish list at the minute. As I said, I do have other financial goals and I'm trying to be quite sensible, so there's not a huge amount on there at the moment, because I know what I'm like when things are on my wish list. I tend to obsess. I think we've maybe got to the last question. If I've missed any, I'm very sorry, but I think flicking through them, I think that is all of them. If I have missed any, please let me know in the comment box and I will try to answer that for you. One of the things I was asked by someone who'd asked me to do the makeup and the get ready with me and the skincare was because I wear bright lipstick, and they were asking me how I make bright lipstick work with my look, and I generally wear bright lipstick most days. For me, and again, this is not a beauty person who knows lots of things, I just don't make any other of my features compete with the brightness. My eyeshadow, although it's there and there is colour to it, it's not bright. There is a bit of purple underneath on the lid, but it's not bright that it would contrast or take attention away, or that my lips and my eyes would be competing. What I go for more with my eyes, with my eyeshadow, is I do use my black eyeliner, and I do normally put quite a lot of mascara on, probably even more than I have now, but as I say, I have to take my child swimming. And then the lipstick that I wear in a lot of my videos is the Rouge Dior Velvet Poppy, Winter Poppy Velvet by Dior. I also have a Chanel one I will link this lipstick in the description box, but this was a limited edition colour that came in the mini Audrey last year, so I don't think the colour is actually available, but I do think it's a good lipstick in that it stays on quite a while. All lipsticks that say eat and drink, yes, it's still there a bit, but of course it shifts if anybody's being honest with you, but this is the colour that it is, and I generally wear that most days. And that's the colour when I add that on with the rest of my makeup. As I say, very amateurish, very much gets through the day, gets the job done. It doesn't take me overly long. Obviously answering the questions has made it longer today, but I hope that's people that were asking me for this. I hope that's what you were asking for. I will link the items in the description box in case there's anything that anybody is interested in. None of it's overly expensive. None of my makeup is very high end. It's just what I use on a daily basis, and it does the job for me. And I feel better when it's on. Up here is maybe a little bit easier for you to see, and that is the get ready with me makeup look. So thank you for leaving me all of your questions on my Instagram. I didn't this time put it on my community post. I will the next time. Generally, the reason being just that the time it can take to get through all of the questions, and I didn't want to leave any of them out. So I had it on Instagram this time. I hope I've got through them all. Thank you for leaving them for me. There was quite a few. Thank you for being here. If there's anything I've missed, leave it in the comment box. And I hope whatever you're doing, you have a brilliant rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.